Nicaragua is famous for its volcanoes, colonial cities, and for having a very strict border crossing. Today we're going to try to enter Nicaragua in our van. Every question you can think of for customs to ask you, they ask you. We've read some horror stories online about people who, like us, traveled in a van and had to unload all their belongings at the border for inspection, and even some people who got banned from the country for life over things they said on Facebook. Not being allowed into Nicaragua would be a disaster for us, because not only do we really want to visit, we're also attempting to drive our van from Alaska to Argentina, and there is no way to drive around Nicaragua. If they don't let us in, our trip comes to an end. We woke up at a truck stop in the very south of El Salvador, 5 minutes from the border with Honduras. This means that to get to Nicaragua, we will have to do not just one border crossing, but 2 border crossings today. First, we need to leave El Salvador, cross the border into Honduras, then drive across the country, and from there, attempt the border crossing into Nicaragua.
If we are lucky, we're gonna have breakfast here in El Salvador, lunch in Honduras, and dinner in Nicaragua. Fingers crossed we can make that happen.
2 border crossings in one day, that's a lot of people potentially looking at my little house, so I have to clean up a little bit. We have our passports, car documents. I think we're ready for the border. I'm a little bit nervous, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Si gustan esperar aquí o allá también hay sillitas allá.
Oh, puedo esperar aquí.
Ok, ya se lo
¿Necesitas
traigo.
pasaporte o algo?
No, solamente esto.
Okay, gracias.
We don't even have to get out of the car. The people come up to the car to get our papers and they go into their office and they say, you come with your car?
El Salvador. People are really, really nice. Really, really friendly.
10 out of 10 service.
Woo! Probably should not be making fires at the border. But it's the only way we're gonna get some coffee.
Alright, Vinny is officially out of the country. Now we just have to get our passport stamps through migration.
Basically, to get from customs to the border, you have to drive through this entire town. That's the first.
Alright, we just went to immigration. We checked out of El Salvador. We're checked out, Vin's checked out. But now the hard part starts, getting into Honduras.
On the other side of this bridge is Honduras. Look at this view.
Wow, this is one of the most beautiful border crossings we've been to. Look at this.
Van a chequear esa migración ahí.
Okay.
Y vamos a hacer el permiso del vehículo, que implica aquí en Honduras una forma 9A. Significa un permiso temporal que le da a Honduras.
Okay.
Entonces, allá adentro está migración, está aduana.
This is the weirdest border crossing ever. All these little shops for food here. It's so busy, so hectic. That guy in the blue shirt apparently has been assigned to us to show us where to go.
Métete adentro, sí, en la rampa.
Okay.
Gracias.
Okay, gracias.
No te rompen los carros ni así.
Okay.
Hasta adentro.
We gave this man all our important documents, our passports, our car papers, and he went to make copies for us and took us inside to the customs and immigration departments. So we're in another long queue here, but there is some entertainment. There's a lady in the other row that has chickens, actual chickens, at the border crossing.
You think they have a passport?
This is for the next border. Don't give any original paper to the police.
Okay.
Just this.
Okay.
Okay, no driver license, no passport.
Okay.
Okay, that's my deal to you.
Thank you!
Gracias. So we went through immigration, we checked the van into the country. In total we paid like $50, which is a pretty good deal. It went really smoothly, and to my surprise, they did not look inside the van at all. Are we smuggling something? Is there something illegal in there? Maybe a pet that we're trying to sneak into the country?
Pet bear from Canada.
No one cared. Like, they did not care.
To Honduras. Woo!
Bam!
Honduras, baby! Now, the next leg starts.
Road we're on right now is the Pan American Highway. That is also why there are so many trucks here, because this is a major transport route across all of the Americas. So if we stay on this road for 2 hours, we're going to be arriving in
Nicaragua, baby! Now the hard part comes. Across the border into Nicaragua. First problem we have is that we have a drone. And we travel with our drone, makes really beautiful shots, but it is illegal in Nicaragua and like really highly illegal. They confiscate it and give you a fine. It's about $1,000 drone and probably get a couple of $100 in fine. Just having it in your possession, totally illegal. After doing some research, I found that we can ship it from here in Honduras with DHL. You can ship it to the next country after Nicaragua, which is Costa Rica. So we're gonna try and find a DHL office right now to hopefully get it shipped today, and then we can get to the border in Nicaragua.
There's something that I have to show you. We just drove across this bridge here, and from the bridge I could see that someone down there has driven their car into the river to clean it. And this guy with the school bus did the same. He's also in the river. I want to take a moment to thank Babbel for sponsoring today's video. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world. You can use their app to start learning a new language through real-world conversations. I started using them because I want to improve on my Spanish, because even though we've been traveling Latin America for most of this year, my Spanish still isn't really at the level I'd like it to be, especially because I can't really properly conjugate the verbs. And so sometimes in conversation with a local, I'll want to say stuff like, I was in Canada last year. And what I'm actually saying is I am in Canada. And then sometimes the other person will just look at me totally confused. So to avoid that awkwardness and to actually feel more confident in everyday conversations, I downloaded Babbel. One of the things I really enjoy about their app is after you download it, the app will actually ask you how much time do you have to start learning a new language. And it literally starts at 5 minutes a day. So even if you have limited time available, you can just choose a few quick lessons in the app and learn a bunch of helpful phrases that you can use in a real conversation.
¿Quieres ir a nadar con nosotros?
¿Quieres ir a nadar con nosotros? You can learn to ask how someone is doing, how to introduce yourself, ask for recommendations on a restaurant or traveling. There's a ton of different lessons you can choose from. And you can take them pretty much anywhere you like, as long as you have your phone on you. So if you've always wanted to learn more of the languages that they offer and you want to start making real progress when it suits you, I'll put the link in the description box below. Please click it to get 60% off during Babbel's Cyber Monday sale. And let us know in the comments which language you would like to learn and why.
Alright, we shipped our drone. We should be seeing it back in Costa Rica on the Pizza Hut street, something like that. It's a weird address, sounds dodgy, but it is what it is.
Remember how we said breakfast in El Salvador, lunch in Honduras? This is the light lunch that I was going for. This is banana fritters. They look like fries, but these are fried up pieces of banana, minced meat, cheese, and their homemade dressing. It sounded light to me, like honestly it did.
Alright, I took a more sensible option. I am not an animal like Kim. Some beef, some beans, a bit of queso. Oh yeah, this is good. Food in Honduras.
As for my light little salad, we're gonna take some meat and some cheese and some dressing, and oh, there's some cabbage in there. Look, vegetables, and some of the plantain fritter. It's good. It's a little bit like chili on fries. I like it. Vamos a Nicaragua before the food coma hits. Another minor problem that we're facing in Honduras and in Nicaragua is that the fuel here, the diesel, is pretty low quality compared to, let's say, American, Canadian, European standards. If we put the local fuel into our van, we already had a bad batch of fuel once, and that cost us so much money in repairs.
So that's why before we left El Salvador, we took a bunch of spare diesel with us. All of these bottles is spare fuel, clean diesel. We're gonna need a lot of it in Nicaragua. We can drive about 1,200 kilometers, which is about 800 miles, which should get us into Costa Rica. That means we're also carrying a bunch of extra fuel in the back. This is not pee, I hope. This is diesel. The Nicaragua border is right around the corner, so I am pretty nervous though. It's getting dark in an hour or two.
We're pretty seasoned travelers and pretty seasoned at doing border crossings. We don't easily get nervous anymore, but this border crossing has a reputation for a high likelihood of having everything searched, being banned from the country, all sorts of stuff that you don't want to do. So let's just hope that that does not happen.
I am ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I've never checked in and out of the country in the same day before.
Nick is gonna get the van stamped out. We got ourselves stamped out.
Okay, got it done.
Buenas.
Buenas.
Se le va a poner el vehículo y pase a ventanilla.
Duana.
Sí, sí, usted.
Okay, sí.
They're gonna Ghostbuster Vinny.
Only outside, right? What is that?
I hope we get to enter Nicaragua because we were supposed to fill out a form 7 days in advance that had to be approved that we can enter the country.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I found out last night when I was doing research. Didn't want to stress you out beforehand.
That's great, Nick. Okay, so these are the forms. Declaración. Traveler's Declaration. Well, I can definitely see why this is more intimidating to people than the border to Honduras. We came in and immediately they were kind of like asking us questions about what are your jobs, etc. Did we sign the form online that you have to do 7 days to be invited to visit the country, etc. And we're like, no. And then they told us that it's about 15 minutes waiting. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know what exactly we're waiting for, but we're gonna wait 15 minutes and then hopefully it'll be fine. Like, it's getting dark in half an hour, but safety wise, I guess at the border is as safe a place as any. It has been more than 2 hours now. Sunset has come and gone. I don't know what the holdup is. There was no one in front of us at the border. They asked us all these questions. What is your profession? How much money do you have to spend in Nicaragua? How much money do you have on you? Every question you can think of for customs to ask you, they ask you. The tone here is way different. Like, it is more serious and more interrogatory and not as happy/helpful. They're not doing anything wrong, but the thoroughness is worse even than we had when we entered the US. And the US has some pretty strict border controls. And they were just talking about inspecting the van with the police and the scanner. So yeah. They just put our van through the scanner.
And now we have to take Vinny through the big scanner here so they can scan throughout the car, see everything that's in it. There's nobody else here, but it's taking a really long time.
Initially they said they're doing that to not have to search the van. Now they're saying that they want to search the van regardless. So we're waiting for the police to come. I think some of this extra time is without a doubt due to the fact that we didn't fill out that form. I would say that is a big mistake. We should have definitely filled out that form. But even beyond that, the reason they ask you to fill out the form is so that they can do basically a background check on you to see what your online presence is like. And in our particular case, there's quite a lot to find about us online. For context, the border crossing this morning from El Salvador to Honduras took about an hour and a half, which wasn't too bad because there were loads of people there. This border crossing from Honduras to Nicaragua took 5 hours in total, and there was no one queuing up in front of us.
Like they just went back into their office and came back, asked us like 2 questions, back into the office, 20 minutes later, came back with another question. And I don't know, one time it started to get a little bit weird because the questions were like, how much money do you have? And like, how much money do you have cash with you now? And
then he was like, you. And he pointed at me. And Naik wanted to come with me. And I was like, no, only her. And I was like, oh my god. And then,
found the one that can't lie.
Yeah, I can't lie. I didn't lie, but I looked like I was lying. He was like, do you have a camera or a drone inside your van? I felt so put on the spot by the kind of confrontational nature of all the questions. And then he went back inside and he started calling people up.
The guy from the customs and from the police searched the van as well.
I think they found our YouTube channel because at that point they were really very focused on cameras, drones. And he was like, tell me where the cameras are. Tell me where the drone is. I had to show them the paper. They had to take pictures of the paper. They confirmed like 5 times. Called several people to ask if it's okay if our drone is not in our van and being shipped to Honduras. I was like, how can this ever be a bad thing? And they opened up most of the cupboards in the van. Like the top cupboards here, the cupboards on the sides. They took out, I haven't put this back yet. They took out Naik's fishing gear.
My fishing gear.
It was pretty stressful.
Yeah, it's the most thorough. They've checked like our paperwork, our story, our van, everything.
So after a long 5 hours of hanging around, believe it or not, Naik, where are we now?
We are now in Nicaragua, officially allowed to enter with Vinny, with everything that we have.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, it's 8:30 at night. It's completely dark outside now. So that means we get to do our favorite activity, driving at night after dark on small, dodgy roads.
Alright, we stopped in the first town we came across called Somoto, I think. And luckily they had restaurants still open. And he's parked right on the street here. Grilled chicken, fried plantains, rice and beans, of course, breakfast, El Salvador, lunch in Honduras, and after a really long time at the border. Okay, Kim, after eating all day long in 3 different countries, which food was the best?
My salad was good.
A little salad from lunch.